Welcome to Under the Covers, where we talk to your favorite YouTube drummers and get behind the scenes of their covers and their channels. Before we dive in, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel using these buttons below, and do the same thing for a featured drummer. You'll find links for the channels and videos and anything else we discuss in the description. Let's get started. So, welcome everybody to Under the Covers. I am absolutely honored to have DrumMan190, Matthew, I'm sure everybody knows that, here with me. I will publicly congratulate you on your endorsement with Drummatic Custom Drums. I don't own one, and obviously I'm not being paid for it, and I don't have any special treats or prizes here. But his drums look amazing, like absolutely fantastic. So congrats.
Yeah, they're awesome. Thanks so much. And you should definitely consider getting one. There's some top-notch stuff.
I am. I think what I'm really trying to figure out right now is which one I want. And that chrome over brass actually looks gorgeous. And I think what I want is a deep snare, like a 14x8. Yeah. Because I have a couple of them sitting over here. But most of mine are 14x6 or 14x5, and I have a 13x6.5. So I want something deep because I really like the crack. Sometimes I like the sound of just like a lot of resonance and tone.
Yeah, that one looks amazing. I also saw a few videos of the sound of that one. You should definitely consider reaching out to him and getting one.
Yeah, part of it is for me is figuring out which one I want, and then from there, do I really want something custom? And then if I do, what do I want on it? Because it's kind of permanent. So.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's hard. Tough choice.
Yeah. Plus, this is, hopefully I'm not going to say this real loud because my wife is upstairs, but I bought the DW just not too long ago, but I have a 14-inch floor to bring it back to what it was, I guess, my kit to the same size as it was before I switched everything out. But then I have bought 2 Roland drum modules in the last like 3 weeks. And I also bought 2 Roland pads. So although the deal was supposed to be even for even, like what I sell my stuff for, I can spend, but I'm well over that at this point.
Are you gonna mix in like electric and acoustic?
I have, and I have already.
I saw one of your pads on the left side. That was cool.
Yeah. So there's a video coming out because I finally got a TD17, the drum module that I had before. It machine gunned a lot, and it was really throwing me off like while I was playing it. And not to say that TD17 is like the top of the line, but it sounds so much better. So I have a video that's scheduled to come out 2 weeks from now where I'm actually using them to some degree. So
cool. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that.
Cool. Yeah. I don't know what your thoughts are, but like I've got all this stuff back here on the rack, and I really want to like minimize it and adding more drums, and like I've got a bunch of cymbals, but I don't think that I'll probably keep the 2 pads on the kit permanently, but having one that I can kind of change to whatever I want as something comes up.
Are you more of a minimum setup? Like you like less drums, or?
There's a certain point in which like I think it goes a little far, but I had the 7-piece before, or 6-piece, I'm sorry. 6-piece is about right to me. Your floors, like I don't know how easy or hard it is to get to your back floor, but I find that a lot of times as I'm rolling through, Like that last one, if I have to torque myself too much, like it just, I don't know. So
Yeah, it definitely takes some getting used to. Yeah.
yeah. The other thing that because I think your drum set is set up this way and I can't see over your shoulder, but you put your cymbal in place of the second tom here. So you're basically 4-piece kit, right? With your, because I know some people put their ride like right here.
Yeah. Two floor toms, one rack tom, and obviously snare and bass. And
Okay.
yeah, I have my ride. This is my ride, and this is my second crash. I also have a crash on this side as well.
Have you ever thought about dropping it further down, like I've seen other people do, where it almost like sits?
The ride?
Like, yeah, or is your ride
Yeah, I
up?
usually do lower it, but lately in the last few covers I filmed just recently, I had a GoPro mounted on the ride, so I wanted to lift it up a little bit so you get a good angle. Yeah, that's the only reason I have it high.
I would assume you also probably get some of the bleed out of that microphone too, which is something I struggle with a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I try to set it down just really, really low, just so it's picking up the floor tom. But yeah, it gets a little bit of the ride as well.
This recently came up with someone I was talking to because I gave unsolicited and hopefully not upsetting constructive criticism to somebody. But since we're talking about it, I'm curious. Have you got to the point where you're starting to mess with like the ergonomics of your kit, like where it sits and the comfort of it? Have you got to that point, or are you really kind of setting it up where it just feels natural?
Like placements in the room? Is that what you mean?
No,
Yeah,
like placements as in, I'll explain and then maybe that'll help. For the longest time, I played a really tight kit. So everything was like almost right on top of me.
Yeah.
And I've spent like the last 2 years kind of spreading it out and then focusing a lot on how high my drum throne is, where my snare sits specifically, the angles of my toms and everything, just so that, you know, as I go to play, I'm not like stopping myself. And that was one of the things I had a big problem with is going through and doing rolls. If you're tight in, you know, or like if I'm worried about hitting the microphone as an example, then it becomes a thing. But right now my drums are set up where I can actually go through each one of the toms and almost do it like in this movement. So it feels more comfortable. Like I'm not shrugging, I'm not like crowded in. And not only does it feel like I'm more capable of doing stuff, but I feel like I can play for longer with no issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always changing up, you know, my setup, how high I sit or low I sit. A couple years ago, I was really into sitting more high up and having the snare drum lower. Now I'm more even with the snare. I have to go up for the toms. So I'm always mixing things up with how I set my drums up, cymbals up. Right now, I'm liking the setup I have right now so far.
Yeah. Do you suffer from this too though? Like when I change like one small thing, it becomes a butterfly effect where I end up having to change 17 other things.
Definitely. Definitely. Usually every time I clean my drums, I change up the setup.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to do it too much because if I do it too much, you know, you want to be comfortable with what you're like. Right now, the blindfold challenge is going around. And I can do that because I know where everything is, but like moving it even like slightly, it seems to throw things off for a certain amount of time. So I try to leave things. That's why I actually moved to the rack, is so that I can put things really where I want them, even though I get a lot of vibration and ringing and other things. But I get to put it where I want it largely, and then hopefully I don't have to mess with it. But then I still end up messing with it. And
Yeah,
then
even the slightest bit you move it, it still feels different.
yeah.
So yeah, it takes some time.
I was telling the person I gave unsolicited advice to, I know when my drum throne is like an inch off of where it's supposed to be. Like I can tell, and there's an indentation in my carpet anyway, so I can see it. But like if I don't notice it, like within a few minutes of playing, like I know my drum throne's not in the right spot.
Are you one of those people that like put tape on your carpet to see where every stand is? Yeah.
Well, everything's on the rack, so I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
But as far as like where the snare sits, where the throne sits, yeah, I have to, because I the space that I have behind my kit, like you look like you have more than I do. But the way that I have this set up, there's enough space for me to walk back, but I end up, because my component rack is off to the side, I end up hitting my throne with my knee, or I'll move it out of the way for some reason and then put it back. So I kind of need to know where it is.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Interesting. We jumped like right into this, and I actually hadn't got to questions. Um, Please like and subscribe. I can't imagine there's a situation in which you haven't liked and subscribed to Matthew's channel at this point. Matthew, what's the next benchmark for you? Is it 8,000?
9,000.
9,000. I'm sorry, I shortchanged you 1,000 people. 9,000. So out of everyone that watches these videos, I'm sure you're subscribed. But if you weren't, please go to Matthew's channel and subscribe.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So give me some background information, where you're from, what you do, that kind of thing.
Cool. So yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania. I started playing the drums when I was 13. Got really serious into it. Maybe when I was like 6 or 7, I had one of those first at drum sets that you get at Toys R Us. I don't know if you've seen them before, but I had one of them for a little while. It eventually broke, so I threw it away. Picked back up the drums when I was about 13 years old. Was interested in learning again. Started taking lessons right away. And that really, when I really got serious about it, that was the age I got serious about it. First drum set, starting at age 13, was the Pearl Export back there in the corner. And at the same time, when I was 13, started learning, I started my YouTube channel, DrumMan190. Back then, it was more just an occasional thing. I might upload a solo or a review of something, a cover here and there. So it was just an occasional thing back then. But as the years gone on, got more serious about the channel and tried to do it more regularly. So yeah, that's a little background.
And how long did you take drum lessons for?
I took him for about 6 years, 6, 7 years.
Okay. No, and I'm out of random curiosity, what was taught? Like, was it rudiments first and then reading sheet music and then whatever, or was it really more playing the drums in general?
Yeah. So at first, when I was 13, I went to a place called the School of Rock, and that's
Oh
like
yeah.
that's a program that you can just take lessons at. But there's also like a show program. So every maybe 3 times a year they do shows, like maybe a Green Day show or an '80s show. They do different shows. So I started that right away when I started learning. They really taught you more songs than anything. So they didn't really teach you, what drumming is. They more taught you songs and things like that. No rudiments, some basic rock beats, some basic rock fills. But for the majority of the time I was there, they were teaching you, songs. So I was there for about a year. And then I moved over. I found a drum teacher called Buddy O. I moved over to him, and that's when things changed for me. That's when I really started learning technique, reading music, rudiments. I really started learning the drums then when I went to my teacher Buddy O, and I worked with him for about 6, 7 years, and that's really what changed for me.
You said Buddy L.
Buddy O.
Buddy O. Does he have a YouTube channel or a website?
No, he doesn't. He's a Facebook. I actually interviewed him on my podcast, which was cool. Yeah, he doesn't have a YouTube channel, but yeah, he's just a local teacher.
Did you feel like when you moved from School of Rock over into like actually learning the rudiments and like proper stick handling, and so do you feel like it just like felt like things opened up a little bit, like there was a bit of an epiphany as far as your playing is concerned?
Yeah, 100%. When I started working with Buddy O, that my playing changed, how I looked at drumming completely changed, and he taught me everything I know. So it completely, changed everything about my playing.
That's really awesome. I ended up going backwards. Like I learned to play in school, learned to read music, learned the rudiments, and then I joined a band when I was in high school. And so for the longest time, it just became like I could get away with really not doing a lot of the rudiments. So then I just stopped doing it. And for the past 5 years, like that's what I've actually put more attention to, is going back and trying to incorporate that into the kit.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, rudiments are important.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things too, you should practice all the time. Like, if you know them, that's great. But if you're not incorporating them into playing, you should still be practicing them.
Yeah. And again, Buddy, really pushed me and inspired me to practice. He's one of my probably biggest drumming influence, my teacher. So It's awesome.
You like the sensei?
Yeah, he's a pioneer in drumming.
Um, and then any bands? Did you play in any bands at any point in time?
Starting out, like I said, School of Rock. Later on, when maybe I was 18-ish, I was in a band with my sister. We did a few shows. We did a few shows over a summer. That was pretty good, big. And then of course, COVID hit. That kind of shut everything down. So that's on the back burner right now. But hopefully, soon get back out there.
What does your sister play?
She sings and she also plays the guitar.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, are there any videos on your channel where people can check out your sister too?
Yeah, and we have a channel called Revel Star, and that's some live performance videos on there.
So now that COVID's over, is that something that you're thinking about getting back into?
Yeah, I hope so. Summer's coming, so maybe we can get back to practicing and get some shows. I would love that.
What types of places did you play before everything broke out?
Different, bars, restaurants. The first one we played at a biker bar, which was kind of a different experience. The second show we played at like a pub, and then some other ones we played at a few different, restaurants, stuff like that.
I'm from the area, or at least formerly from the area. Do you care to share any of the localities? We might have chewed some of the same dirt.
Ralphie's, it's called.
Is that on the northeast side?
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe like 40 minutes from Philadelphia. I don't know.
Yeah, most of the places I played were in was it Monco, like southern, like southwest.
Okay, cool.
Maybe not same dirt then.
Yeah, it's probably a little different direction.
So you played both on stage and on YouTube then, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a preference?
Not really. I love them both. They're obviously completely different, but I love them both. I've been playing on stage, ever since I really started playing the drums. So I love them both for different reasons. No, I don't like one more than the other.
Yeah, I actually prefer the stage over YouTube.
Yeah. Why is that? Is there
response? Like you can see, and I don't know about you, but like, and I guess this is some of my narcissism showing, but I like the feedback you get from the audience, and then when you're doing videos, like you don't know if people are really enjoying it or not. I mean,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
That's honestly where this kind of came to pass. Is that I enjoy meeting people. I have no problem talking to people. Asking questions is to some degree part of my vocation. But I tried to do some early videos where it was just like me talking into a camera, and it's really uncomfortable to me. Like because you don't get a reaction back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You want more of a people interaction.
Yeah.
Instead of just a camera. Yeah.
I hope that people laugh, but who the hell knows whether they'll So tell me about some of your influences for drum. Obviously, there's Buddy O, but what other drummers, not YouTube, but professional drummers are influences for you?
Trey Cool from Green Day. He was a big influence to me when I was starting out. I would just, put on some Green Day songs, just try to play them along on the drums. So he's definitely a big inspiration to me. Neil Peart, obviously, watching him, I'm always blown away. More now, Thomas Lang. He's been one of my favorites lately. There's a lot. Chad Smith. He's another one of my favorite ones. So those are kind of my top favorite ones.
You're a really big Green Day fan too, right?
Yeah, I am.
What's your favorite Green Day song?
That's hard. I would say Jesus Suburbia, though, off the American Idiot album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah.
The funny thing about Trey Cool is, especially through like the first few albums, it's not exactly the same, but he has some signature fills that he does. Like, he's got that single tom hit sometimes in between before he goes to a full roll.
Yeah, and the crash accents he does a lot. Yeah, he has an awesome style. It's cool.
Yeah. And Thomas Lang is insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. I watched this video where he was doing singles and doubles and triples on with his hands and his feet and then alternating them.
Yeah.
He was playing with his feet faster. I can play with my hands.
I know he's on a different level. He's crazy.
Yeah, totally different level.
Yeah.
So you started your channel in 2014 or 2013?
Yeah, 2013-ish. Yeah.
Okay,
The end of 2013.
Tell me about some of the motivations to start the channel in the first place, like where that came from.
Well, even before drumming, I was into drumming. Me and my sister, we would make like little videos on our YouTube channel, like little skits, little funny videos. We had a few TV show series we made. So I was always into, making videos, little having fun, just filming videos, doing some funny things. So that was kind of where the inspiration came. So of course, when drumming came to be, I had to make a channel. Videos was always fun to me, making videos and filming.
Now, what's your skill set with the videos? Like, did it start with the video editing and so forth first, and then
No,
you just
it was mainly just, a one take. I had a camera and just filmed it all one take, no cuts or anything, just upload it. Yeah, so the editing kind of came later.
Yeah, I hate that part, by the way. I think I made that pretty clear. That's my least favorite part.
Yeah.
It's getting easier now, but like I can do it, and it's not so much of a struggle. But there's nothing fun about that part. Plus, I end up burning like a few hours.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of time. Definitely.
So your channel, I went through your channel kind of from back to front. I didn't watch every video because that would be insanity, and I don't have that much time. But in the beginning, it seemed like it was like you said, like some drum solos or a cover here or two, and then it kind of waved into the collaborations. And then tell me about where Drummers to Watch started, like the whole backstory, and then all the way to current with that.
Yes. So Drummers to Watch will be 2 years old this coming August. So I've only done it starting 2 years ago. But I've always done a series like that. It might be a shout out Sunday. It might be a drum cover of the week. So I've always done kind of a series to feature other drummers and channels. But Drummers to Watch came 2 years ago. Just the inspiration by it was just wanting to feature new and upcoming drummers in the community. I always watch drummers. I watch, I don't know, probably 20 or 40 drummers a day. I watch a lot of drummers. So I always saw, drummers that made some fantastic covers, but maybe don't have that many subscribers or viewers. So that was just a way to show my support to drummers and try to get them more spotlight.
Wow. Before I go too much further, like I on behalf of everyone, and I'm sure you hear this a lot, but thank you for your series. Like I've had your name come up in every single one of these videos that I do. And the level of appreciation when people speak about just how much you've influenced the people that view their channel. Like you seem like a humble dude, but like it's a huge impact. I mean, even to my channel, I mean, I think I had like 17 people when you had me on there, and that jumped to like 50 or 60 or so, like within a matter of a few weeks. And you just expand people's audience out so much, and it's just really appreciated.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate all the awesome people we have in this community. I've gotten so much from everyone and so much support from everyone, so it's just a way to give back. And I'm happy I can do it.
Did someone find you? Is that like where was your breaking point? Like where do you think that everything kind of turned for you? Where it went from like I'm sure you at some point had 12 viewers and now you have over 8,000. Like what was that point, and was there someone specific that helped?
It wasn't one person in particular. It was just like a couple of different people I watched that supported me back. It took a while though. There was probably a good first 4 years that I didn't really have that many people watching. But when I really got more into it and more consistent with it, I noticed more people coming to watch my videos. And I think that was really the breaking point when I started being like more committed to it and more consistent with it.
Is that what you think the trick is just consistency?
Yeah, consistency, just being committed to it, Don't say you're going to upload, every week and upload once a week, and then 3 months later you upload another video. Just stay consistent with it. Try to at least upload, I think, once a week. If you can do more, great. But if you can't, once a week's fine. And just, yeah, stay consistent with it.
What do you think is too much per week?
I don't know. Maybe every day.
Yeah, I found that this is a comment, and I don't know if you remember this, and maybe you do, but like when you brought up my channel for drummers to watch, one of the things that you said is that he puts out a lot of videos, and at that point in time, I was firing them off just as I had them because I was kind of easily clipping them, and I could still actually do that. I could still probably pop off 3 or 4 at a time, but what I personally found is that when I go too many, regardless of what videos that I'm talking about, like viewership for all of them will drop. So I'm trying to stay somewhere around like 2 per week, but I could do sometimes 4 and 5 per week.
Yeah, I think 2 to 3, even 4 is really good. But like you said, sometimes it can be, overwhelming, for the viewers because they have so many other people to watch. They also have other things to do. So I think 2 is a good number, honestly.
Yeah. The other thing too, and I don't know if you can appreciate this or not, but obviously I am a page follower for the Facebook page too. And I also feel like I'm spamming the hell out of your Facebook page when I go too many within the series of like 1 week.
No, I like it. I like people posting interaction. It's what it's all about, honestly. You know.
So I have the $1 million question for you is, and this kind of goes back to something that you said, like how much time per week or per day would you say that you spend on YouTube?
I don't know. I don't think I want to know too. I watch a lot of people. I watch, like I said, I probably find 20 new drummers a day. If they respond, if I'm always watching drummers. I'm also trying to keep up with all the other drummers I enjoy watching. Because I really do enjoy watching drummers. I'm not someone just watch a video for 30 seconds and turn it off. I usually watch the majority of the video or the whole video. So I'm always watching drummers. I enjoy it. I also learn a lot from them as well. I try to pick up on different things people are doing. I've also discovered a lot of new music and new bands from drummers online, which is another awesome thing. So I don't know how many hours I've put into it, but I put a lot into it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, 20 new drummers a day. That's wow. Now, how do you commonly go about finding your 20 new drummers a day? Because that's obviously a lot of searching. You're just doing drum covers and going crazy, going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's as simple as searching drum covers and trying to come across new people. That's pretty much my trick.
So for those unfortunate few who have yet to be featured on your channel, tell me some of the things that you're looking for when you're watching these videos.
I'm really looking for people that have a passion for it. Not just uploading and drumming for the sake of doing it. I'm looking for people that are passionate about doing what they do, but also probably the main thing too is passion, but also being consistent with it. Usually, I won't feature people that upload maybe once every 3 months. I try to feature people that are doing it on a regular basis, maybe once a week or maybe even once every 2 weeks is fine. But I usually look for people that are passionate about it and also consistent with it. So those are kind of the 2 things that I look for.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have any other tips for any aspiring people that want to be on Drummers to Watch?
Just stay active, stay supportive. I always tell people if you want to be featured on the show, just simply leave comments on the episodes and just support the other drummers that I feature. If you do that and you stay consistent with it and stay supporting others, I'll get you on soon. I have a huge list of drummers. I make a list on my phone of drummers to watch, drummers to feature. So there's a huge list. It might take a little while to get to you, but if you just stay active, stay supportive, you'll get on in no time.
Were you aware of, or when did you become aware of just how cool the community itself that I don't know if I can put you built, but like it seems like everybody kind of gravitates from your channel outward, but everybody seems like super supportive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I feel like kind of been these last 2, maybe 3 years that it's just been on a different level, honestly. There's people that I knew of, years ago, maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Yeah, it was a cool community, but I feel like these last 2 3 years, there's completely new drummers in it, new faces, and like every single one of them, I enjoy watching. They're awesome. So I feel like these last 2 3 years, and I maybe it's because of drummers to watch, but maybe it's also just a lot of people coming on and starting YouTube and just being cool people. It's been awesome these last 2 3 years.
No, I mean, I totally tell you to take the credit for it, man, because it seems that, like I said, everybody kind of gravitates out. But like the people that I've talked to, even for this series, or just the Facebook comments in general, because it's been more time. I mean, there's a ton of drum cover channels on or pages on Facebook, but I gravitate to yours more than anybody else's. And the people that are on that, it's just crazy how nice and supportive everybody is.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that. We have some amazing people, honestly, in this community. So many nice people. When my flood happened, I can tell you the amount of people that messaged me and commented, seeing what they could do to help. I mean, it was overwhelming support. I mean, there's some awesome people on here. And that's one of the perks of doing this. I've come across a lot of nice people and good people. You being one of them, being able to talk to you. There's a lot of them. So I definitely, if you're out there and you want to do this, jump on in because it's a lot of fun.
Do you consider yourself at this point an influencer? Is that like on the DrumMan 190 business cards?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I'm just a guy that, likes to play the drums and have fun doing it, honestly. And that's how it's always been ever since I started almost 9 years ago. It's always been about having fun. And if I can inspire someone along the way, that's just an extra thing. I've on the back of my shirts, aspire to inspire before you expire. That's my motto. That's what I'm trying to do.
That's very cool. Out of random curiosity, how big of a landslide did your house win for the Christmas light?
Probably, a couple thousands of votes. We destroyed that competition. Not gonna lie.
Your house looked amazing anyways. You should have won based on the other ones that I saw.
Yeah, no, come on. Let's be honest.
No, it was good.
No, that's what I mean. There was no competition, honestly. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't want to be cocky, but
now your family, obviously your sister plays guitar and sings. Is like your mom and dad, are they musical people?
my mom, yeah, she's a huge music fan. She's the reason I like probably a lot of the music I like. She's always playing. Aerosmith, that's one of her favorite bands. Rod Stewart's one of her favorite artists. She loves all these kind of bands, and I love them too. We went to Aerosmith once a couple years ago before COVID hit. That was awesome. We went to Guns N' Roses. I've been to Rod Stewart. So a lot of those bands, she influenced me to take a listen to them, and she's always giving me suggestions on songs to cover. So yeah, she's the reason why I like a lot of that music.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because you're clearly a younger guy than I am, and you have, I don't know, either an old soul or like the covers you do like don't seem within the music collection that you would probably have based on your age. So is that influenced by your mom?
Yeah, definitely influenced by my mom. Also, obviously, going to the School of Rock when I first started learning the drums, they played a lot of 70s, 80s, 90s. That's probably it. They don't really do a lot of newer music, which is awesome. So that's cool.
Yeah, I hate new music, man. Not all of it. Like there's some stuff that I like, but
yeah, there's probably a handful of people that I like today. Honestly, not many.
it's too poppy and electronic for me. Like that's my biggest complaint.
Yeah, it's too computerized. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Tell me about some of the other features or series that you have on your channel.
I have quite a few, honestly. Series is more of a thing when I was first, maybe 5 years into it, 4 years into it. Shout Out Sunday was a huge series I did. Bringing back the 80s, I did probably 6 years ago. I dressed up in an 80s costume, and for 10 weeks, I did 10 of my favorite 80s songs, which was really fun. I also did a series called More Cowbell, and I would replace maybe my snare drum or hi-hat with a cowbell, and I would play the whole song like that. That was a fun one. Drummers to Watch is one of the newer ones. Five Strokes at Five is another new one I started a year ago, 2021. So those are the two newer ones.
Wow. It's hard to believe, like I thought the five strokes, and maybe I got connected with you sometime around when that started, because that seemed like a pretty mature series by the time I saw it the first time.
Yeah, it's only been a year. Yeah.
And it's crazy. COVID years are like years, man. I say that all the time.
It's crazy.
What's the secret to getting some of the pulls you're getting on this five strokes at five? Like you've had some big names, like some really, really professional drummers on your, is there a trick?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that. There really isn't a trick. I simply just, reach out to people, Instagram, Facebook. And I've been very, fortunate to be able to talk to so many awesome drummers. Thomas Lane was probably one of my favorite ones, one of my favorite drummers. Dom Famulara, I don't know if you know of him. He was a fun one. There's been tons of drummers that are just super willing to come on. It's honestly just getting started. Just this last month, I was doing 2 a week. So I have so many episodes saved up. A lot of cool guys coming up. Yeah, it's been really fun. I've also, just talking to them maybe an hour, you learn a lot just talking to these legends. It's awesome.
Yeah. You still have videos loaded up ready to go for that series?
Yeah. Like I said, just this past month, I was doing 2 a week. So it was crazy. When people, say they want to do it, they could do it this day. You just got to jump on it and kind of work around their schedule, So yeah, I have so many more episodes saved up through April, honestly. So, yeah.
This series specifically, I had to slow down because I wanted to do one like every 2 weeks. But between that, my job, my wife, things I got to do around the house, like it's too much to keep up with. I had to move this.
Even some people, I've been up 7 a.m. for them. I've been up at 11 p.m. talking to people. So I just you got to make it work with other people's schedules. And it's been fun. Though. It really has been.
So I've got a 2-part question for you as far as the five strokes at five.
Okay.
Number one, drummer you want to have on, like dream drummer on your series. And number two, any drummer living or dead, if you could have them on your five strokes at five, which one would they be? Or is it the same person?
Yeah, that's tough. Probably the goal right now, and it's probably been like that ever since I started, was Trey Cool. He's, like I said, one of my biggest influences. I really want to have him on. I love to talk to him. That'd be a fun one. And I'm dead. There's a lot. Buddy Rich or Neil Peart, I would pick.
Ooh.
Those two are awesome. How about you? Who would you want to interview?
Oh, God. Oh, of course you like flip it back and put me on the spot.
That's tough, tough question.
Probably Bonham.
Bonham, yeah, that's a cool one.
He was such an innovator at the time, and the things that he does, like, you have a lot of modern drummers today that are trying to emulate it now like it's a new thing when he was doing it back in the 60s and 70s. That plus his tuning, plus the blues influence behind how he played.
And the amount of drummers he's influenced is amazing, you know?
Probably the dead, that would be that one. I think alive, I would love to talk to Carter Buford.
Yeah, he's a good one.
He's amazing.
Real good one. Yeah.
And he plays an open-handed kit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's I don't remember his name. He calls himself the Dude Drummer.
The Dude Drummer?
You know what I'm talking about?
Who?
He says I'm the dude. Like he has a YouTube series where he's like the Dude Drummer. He was on Drumco. Dude, search him. Not only is he as hell, but he's really good. He also plays an open kit.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
I've thought about doing this more times than I can count because the crossover for me, it always ends up catching me. No matter how I put my hi-hat, if it's in a comfortable place over here, it's always something that at some point in time I end up fighting with. And really, the open kit, and this is what Carter Buford does, is the hi-hat's here, and then your primary bass drum is here, but obviously you're using the slave pedal for your right hand. So the toms can go in either direction, and the hardest part would be rolling to the left for me.
What about the ride? Would you have the ride on the left too?
No, I think the hi-hat sits here basically so you're not crossed, and then yes, the ride's over here as well.
Cool. That would take some time to learn though, you know?
Yeah, but it would be fun. Like it's one of those I feel like it would be more comfortable. And he does. I wish I could think of his stupid name. And it's not stupid, but he did a video where he explained the setup and how he plays it and why. And he said that it's not something you can just jump into. He said it took him months to get comfortable doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it is.
He gigs out of Nashville. So he's like a semi-professional. I think he played with Rascal Flatts or something like that for a while.
Jim Riley?
No. That's some, or maybe different band. Either way, look it up. It's Miri, something Miri.
Okay, cool.
Oh, look, the dude. What's your goal for your channel? Like moving forward, like what are the next steps for you? Secrets you can share without like blowing something out of the water that you're doing.
Yeah, I always have an idea up my sleeve. I have a fun idea coming up. I hope planned for the summer. Hopefully that is able to happen. That's probably it right now. I obviously got the endorsement going on with Ad Custom Drums. We have a snare drum solo contest going on right now. If I don't know when this is going to be out, but everyone should get involved in that. We're giving away a 8 by 14 chrome over steel snare drum, which is awesome. So that's going on. And just, keep going with my drum covers. Like I said, the podcast, I have a lot of people lined up to be interviewed. So that's going to keep going. And I'm just same old stuff right now. And summer, hopefully have some fun thing to do. So I can't say too much about it, but
no worries.
Keep an eye out for it.
So the outdoor playing, how often do you do that?
I usually do it in the summers. I usually just go out maybe 2 times a summer, 3 times a summer, and try to film as many drum covers as I can. So yeah, that's just in the summer usually. Obviously, when the flood happened, I had to go out there once more and get a few covers done, just try to keep it going. But usually it's just in the June, July months.
Now, how many noise complaints or police visits do you get when you do that? Or do you ask permission?
Probably every time. Yeah, we get complained about a lot usually, but it's honestly crazy because it's probably not lasting more than an hour, if that. You're setting up the kit and you're setting up the microphones more than you're actually playing. So people just like to complain, but yeah, pretty much every time we do it, it's a cop's coming or a neighbor's going to be yelling at the fence or something like that. Actually, in one of the covers, you actually see someone at the end yelling at the fence. So,
which how close are you to your neighbors ish?
Not very close. That's another crazy thing,
I tell you the most nuts thing that I ever did with my drum set is my buddy had a 1960 Dodge Econoline van, and it just had the 2 front seats. The back of it was relatively wide open, and I set up my drum set in the back of his van, and we drove around town, and we would just pull up to a traffic light, and he'd go, 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 and then I just hit him as hard as I could possibly hit him. We did that for the entire day. I won't say that drugs were involved in that, but drugs were involved in that.
How many complaints did you get then? Did the cop pull you over?
None, because who's
Wow.
going to, I mean, this is before cell phones. So, I was 18, 19 years old. So they'd have to pull over to a payphone. Those are those boxes on the walls to call somebody. So we didn't get busted at all. We just didn't do it around the country.
That must have been fun.
It was a blast. It was a real blast. Tell me about your kit. I'm curious about the drums, why you chose them, because obviously I have the Pearl Export kit, but tell me about your setup.
Yeah, so my Pearl Export is the one stacked up in the corner. That was my first real kit. The one right here, though, is an SJC. It's kind of a red and black pearl with black hardware. It's maple shells, 2 floor toms. I do have 2 high toms as well, a 10 and a 12, but I usually just use a 12. Bass drum, 22-inch bass drum. It came with a 14 by 6 or 14 by 6.5 stock snare drum. So yeah, I usually just keep the setup: 2 floor toms, 1 rat tom, the 12-inch one, a snare drum, obviously a bass drum, hi-hat, 2 crashes, 1 rod, and then I also have a secondary hi-hat over here, which I recently added over the last few months, and I really like the addition. It's cool.
Is that a remote or is it just an open setup?
Yeah, it's just an open hi-hat.
I've got one to my left that you can see in my videos that are actually two splashes together.
Oh, cool.
And that's the same open setup. And then I've got another set of Zildjian small stamp. And actually, I've got a stack that you see to the right, and the symbol that's on the top is actually the top hi-hat for that. So I've contemplated switching the miniature hi-hats, which is a fun accent, over to the right for the same kind of setup.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the secondary hi-hats. It really opens up your playing. It's cool.
It's nice because really like where you should have your hi-hat set up is a little more travel. So you get the, and I don't know if you've tried it yet or maybe you have, but the heel toe or toe heel that people do on the bass drum, you do the same thing on the hi-hat, but when I do open hats for say a song, if it's open too much, it just sounds sloppy. And then, trying to keep your foot with the right pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah.
Let's see. I think it would be fortuitous of me to ask you who your favorite YouTube drummers are, but might I possibly ask you if I could maybe introduce, say,
like the Drummers to Watch episode?
I mean, if not too forward, like that would be nice. I mean, you don't normally get the opportunity to have someone introduce you, Matthew. Like,
Yeah, actually, I always have some drummers ready on my phone. So if I come across someone that day I like, I usually write their name down, and I add them to the list. I do have some drummers ready if you want to do an episode. Yeah,
which episode would I be introducing here, Matthew?
it would be Drummers to Watch episode 39.
All right, so. Everybody, welcome to episode 39 of Drummers to Watch. I have the distinct privilege of introducing Matthew so he can give his episode 39 Drummers to Watch. And with that, Matthew, to you.
Cool. So first off, I want to say, everyone watching, head over to Drummers Keys channel. We had a great interview, a great sit down. Everyone check out the interview, but also Chris has some other interviews on his channel, which is really cool. And he has a lot of awesome covers. What do you play? Bass, guitar, drums? You've done a few covers of that too, right?
Yeah, bass, guitar, and drums. I've done a couple of total covers where I played everything and sang singing.
Your recent one with you playing the bass and drums looks cool.
Yeah, that's the Know Your Enemy by Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, so everyone check out Chris's channel. He's awesome stuff. But yeah, so let's get into it. So the first one up is Frederick Fisher. His production is some top notch. He just did a Everlong cover by the Foo Fighters. That one was probably one of my favorite covers he's done. His production's top notch, but also he's a really talented drummer. So check out Frederick Fisher. The next one I have is Drum Club. Don't know if you've seen this guy before. He does drum covers, lessons. He's a series called Fun Fill Friday. A lot of cool fills he's done in that series. Super cool channel, super cool drummer. Check out Drum Club. Bruce Baxter. He has a lot of cool covers on his channel as well. He's covered Green Day, Hall & Oates, Imagine Dragons. And he also has a lot of Neil Peart videos on his channel. So if you're a Neil Peart fan, you'll like enjoying them. Another one I have is David Belgard. I actually just came across this drummer this week. Been loving his covers. He's done James Brown. And he also has a lot of Elevation Worship covers, which is kind of cool. And the last drummer I have for this episode is Two Rebe Drums. He just created his channel March of this year, so it's a really new channel. But he's doing some cool covers on his channel. 3 Days Grace, Shine Down, Disturbed, Slipknot, Foo Fighters, many more. That's a new channel to keep an eye on. Two Rebe Drums. And that's all I have for this episode.
Wow. Well, let me be the first one to congratulate everyone that was featured on this episode of Drummers to Watch. And Matthew, thank you for allowing me to be part of it. I have a bonus question for you, and you can steal this idea if you wish, but Hall of Fame drummers to watch, who gets a gold jacket? Give maybe an idea of some names of people that you think should be in the Drummers to Watch Hall of Fame.
That's a tough question because there's so many. Like I said, I love watching these drummers. It's really fun. I learn a lot from them. A lot of new music I learn from them. That's a good idea. They're the Hall of Fame drummers to watch. Maybe we'll have to do that. But the first one that comes to mind has to be Trey B. You know, every time I watch him, he blows me away. Such a phenomenal drummer. He's definitely up there with my favorites. How many should I do? 5? 4?
Let's go with 4. I think that 4 is fair because there's so many I'm sure that you could name off. Let's just call this episode 1 of. So let's keep it fair and go with 4.
Okay, so 4. The second one would be Joey Clark Drums. I came across his channel, I think maybe almost a year ago or 2 years ago, maybe at this point. He's another one that covers some great song choices. His mix, you know, it's probably one of the best sounding mixes on YouTube. Such a powerful drummer. Joey Clark Drums, he's one of my favorites as well.
Number 3.
Number 3. Probably this is a new one I came across. Mikester N2 Drums. Don't know if you know of him. But he's another one. His production quality is top notch. He covers some really cool songs. He's another one with an awesome sounding mix. So Mikester N2 Drums, I'll put him in there too. He's really good. Awesome. And the last one, I think, 4.
Oh, drum roll.
That's tough. Probably for number 4 is Marcus Drums. He's one of my favorites. He's a super funny guy. We had him on our podcast, 5 Streets of 5. Guest head drummer. He's so funny. He covers some cool song choices. Another one with an awesome sounding mix. So Marcus Drums.
Very cool. And if you'll permit me, I will add that Trey is amazing to watch. If I could comment for each one of the names that you brought up, if I'm allowed, but
yeah,
Trey is just such a crazy talent, and he also seems very humble about it too. But I always love watching the drummers that just have that much motion and can still be accurate in what they do. He's a phenomenal. Joey, I don't know if it's possible for Joey to get better, but it seems that as I watch him, he just progressively gets better, and I envy the hell out of his mix. I mean, with guns like that, you know, it just the speed and the precision. And just amazing to watch every single time. And I don't know number 3, so I can't unfortunately comment, but I am going to check it out. But Marcus is also, I watched the 5 Strokes at 5 with Marcus, and then his videos and the Does It Need Double Bass, and you know, it just he's a great drummer.
Yeah. Speaking of Doesn't Need Double Bass, MB Drums. That's MB Drums.
Yeah. Oh, MB Drums. I'm sorry.
He's another awesome one. I mean, there's so many. And drums by Ash Wells. I love what he's doing. He's doing some cool things on his channel. He's doing really good. And obviously, Drum Addict. He's been one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't just do covers, but he also, you know, says at the end why he picks the song. I mean, it's cool. He does some cool stuff. So definitely check these guys out.
Ash is going to be a media tycoon. Not too far from today. He was the first person that raised his hand for this series, and I feel bad in one sense because I was still trying to figure all this stuff out in the beginning, like how I was going.
That was a great interview. I liked it.
Yeah,
Ash is awesome.
Yeah, but all the stuff he does, and then just continues to grow his channel and his series with his ideas. Just a great job.
I'm impressed by what he's doing.
Awesome. Well, Matthew, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you honoring me with speaking to me today. Please like and subscribe. I know we keep doing this back and forth. Like it's like that, you know, when you repeatedly bow, like and subscribe to his channel. No, like and subscribe to his. But thank you everyone for watching. Hope please join us for more Under the Covers. I've got some cool drummers upcoming too, but I'm really honored that you took the time today, Matthew.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. This was a lot of fun talking to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. It's a cool series.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I want to take a few minutes just to remind everybody of my giveaway for the month of April. I am giving away the awesome Magic Snare. You can see details in my video on my channel, whether you're returning or whether you're new. Please make comments or subscribe and enter the drawing for the Magic Snare. Thanks, everyone.